Yeah. Y'all watching the Grind Ethics mixtape show, and I'm your host, Viktory BX Supreme Promoter. Basically, you know what I mean? I'm Shane. Basically, yeah. What up? What up? Thank you for watching this new episode of the Grind Ethics mixtape show. Yo, anybody that like this episode, I'll be very grateful if anyone could follow me on Instagram and all that good stuff. Also TikTok. And if you definitely like this episode, I'll be very grateful if anyone could bless me with a friendly donation. No stress. All the links are down below, okay? All the links are down below. Yeah, man. The topic of this show is you can't not just blame the artist for signing a bad deal. I'm gonna say again, you just cannot blame the artist for signing a bad deal or a fucked up deal. You know what I'm saying? Because one thing I can't stand, I've been hearing this for years, right? Even before the social media boom or whatever. When an artist tells a story about signing a fucked up deal or becoming a debt slave to some stupid record label, the first thing people say, whether they're in the business or outside the music business, they be like, well, that's his fault. That's his bus. He shouldn't have signed that fucked up deal. He signed it. That was his problem. That's his business. That's his fault. Don't blame the record label. Don't blame the record label. And yo, and everybody has the same opinion about a about an artist signing a bad deal and becoming a debt slave, right? Now, yes, granted, a lot of any artist that signed a fucked up deal is his or her fault, of course. They held accountable, right? Accountable, right? But what about the people that gave the fucked up deal, like the record labels? Like, why we don't hold them accountable? Why are we always blaming the victim for being victimized? I don't know. I think that's an American thing. I think that's an American thing. You know, why are we always blaming the victim for being victimized? Yeah, it's the victim's fault too. It's the artist's fault for signing a fucked up deal. But why we don't look at the character or the mindset of the people that gave the fucked up deal to begin with? It's not their fault too that the that the that the artist is fucked up financially. Why we don't look into the character of these type of people? Why? Yeah, the artist signed a bad deal, but what about the character of the people that made the fucked up deal, that made the fucked up contract? Why we don't criticize them? Why we don't judge them? Why we only judging the victim? Why we do that as a society? That's like back in the days when females used to get. Now it's a little bit different nowadays, but back in the days when females in America, North America, got raped, people always either brushed the shit off. The parents either brushed the situation off, or the parents, including everybody else in the community, blamed the rape victim for being raped. But what about the person that did the rape? We don't say nothing about that person. A person committed a crime. A person raped a young woman, a young lady. And everybody's looking at the lady like she's the criminal. No, she's not the criminal. It's the rapist that's the criminal. Same thing with an artist that signs a bad deal. He is not the criminal. He's not the corrupt entity. It's the record companies that's corrupt. It's the record labels that's the criminal. Now we think, oh, because these motherfucking companies are incorporated, they're legit businesses, that it's okay for them to extort motherfuckers. It's okay for them to scam motherfuckers. See, that's the thing with America. It's okay to be an extortionist. It's okay to be a loan shark. As long as you have an LLC or an S corporation or you under some business structure. It's okay to do all that. But if you do the same thing in the underworld without a license, oh, you're a criminal. That makes no fucking sense. It just don't make no sense. Why just blame the victim for being victimized? Yes, like I said, not just rappers, but the artist, him or herself, is responsible for getting jerked. But what about the people that made up the contract? Why we don't hold them accountable? Why we don't hold them accountable? Why? And this is not talked about in society, and this is not talked about in the music business, or this is not talked about amongst, podcasters and vloggers or whoever. Why we don't blame the record company for giving a bad deal? Why we only blame the artist? Like the artist wants to get fucked in the ass. He doesn't know he's getting fucked in the ass. She doesn't know she's getting fucked in the ass. So why are you just blaming them? You gotta look at the. I don't know. It's just funny. It's just funny to me. It's just funny to me why we don't look at the record companies. Oh, he signed it. Yeah, but does that give the record company the right to steal from an artist or to do some underhanded shit to an artist? Does that give him you have tons of artists that'll sign any fucking deal, good deal, bad deal, whatever, right? But does that make does that give the record company the right to steal from an artist and steal and take future money from the artist's kids? Not only the artist, but the artist's kids. Because publishing goes a long way. You have artists that's getting paid from their publishings or getting paid from shit that they did 20, 30 years ago or whatever. Now a lot of artists, not on their first album, like TLC, I don't know if they're getting publishings from their first two albums, because let's keep it real. And I'm gonna say fucking names and I don't give a fuck. L.A. Reid and Miss Pebbles, they both jerked TLC. Let's keep it real. They robbed them motherfuckers. They robbed them three females. Yeah, it was their fault. It was TLC fault. It was all three of their fault for signing a big deal. For signing a whack deal. Because they were too hungry. They didn't know anything about the fucking music business or how it operates. Of course it was their fault. But for years, I always look at the character. And me, I don't mean to be a judgmental African. But I cannot help thinking what was going on in the mind when TLC signed the fucked up deals and when they got jerked for both of their albums. When one album went double platinum and the other album went diamond, what was in the minds? I think the second album went diamond? Anyway, I gotta look that up. Somebody correct me. But anyway, I always looked at the mindset or question the mindset of Miss Pebbles and Miss L.A. Reid and Mr. L.A. Reid. What was going on in their mind? What made them want to jerk them? What made them want to rob TLC? What made them want to do that to those poor girls? I don't know. What was going on in their heads? But we gotta hold the record company, the people that make offer the fucked up deals. We gotta hold them accountable. When we hear stories of artists going back to the projects after signing a big deal or moving back with their moms and shit or whatever. After having just 15 minutes of fame and or whatever. What about the record companies? We never hold them responsible, man. That's an American thing that we do. That's America, you know. We in America and society did that to black people too. When black people got fucked up, when black people, you know what I'm saying, had no choice but to live in ghettos and live in slums, you know, you had other black people that blamed black people. You had the upper middle class black people, you know what I'm saying, that rosing up, or you had middle class black people that grew up in a middle class family, or let's say a rich, wealthy black family that blamed black people from the slums for being in the slums. I mean, what's the logic in that? What's the logic in that? How you gonna blame just these people for living in the slums? You know, that's a North American thing. I don't think they do that in other countries, but they definitely do that in North America. We always blame the victim. Well, not me. I'm not down with that bullshit. A victim is a victim. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's their fault that they've been victimized or whether it's not their fault, it doesn't matter. But in America, if it's the victim's fault that they've been victimized, we don't blame the criminal. We don't blame the person who's doing the victimizing. You know, we don't blame the rapist for the person being raped. We don't blame the system for fucking up a whole group of people. We blame the people themselves living in the slums. Same thing with the artists and record companies. We don't blame the artists for getting fucked in the ass or for getting raped financially. I mean, we do blame the artists for getting raped financially, but we don't blame the record companies. This is American thing, you know. I guess it is. But anyway, I'm out. Anybody? Oh yeah, I want to get your take, your opinion. You know what I'm saying? Should we look at the record companies as accountable for stealing from the artists? You know, should we look at the characteristics of these record company execs and these record company CEOs? Should we blame them too for an artist getting financially raped? Or should we just blame the artist himself or herself? You know, what's your comment? What's your opinion? I want to know. All right, I'm out. Anybody that like this episode, you know, I'll be very grateful if anyone could leave me a friendly donation, or if anybody could like, share this episode, or leave a comment, like I said, you know. Anyway, oh yeah, ring the bell when you subscribe, so when I upload new material, y'all be the first ones to get it. Anyway, I'm out. And remember, peoples, tell a friend to tell a friend that it's all about the mother effing grind, basically.